Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I know we had a bit of an extended break there, but nothing to worry. Cash and I are back to bring you the action for this second set of matches for tonight. We've got 3 tonight, as per usual, But we've got Trojans Esports from Dakota State University going up against Shawnee State Bears from Shawnee State University. Quite an interesting lineup indeed. What do you think, Cash?
This is going to be a really interesting matchup. Obviously, Shawnee State, they're coming off of a hot 3-0 win in round 1 against Iowa State. So not only do they have some fuel in the fire, but they also come in as the better team as we have a look at our head-to-head. But as we kind of got a glimpse of in our last series, being the better team doesn't necessarily mean an easier matchup, that's for sure.
Exactly so, and let's head over to this head-to-head because, yeah, this is going to be an interesting one indeed. Both teams have quite an interesting setup of records if you do, look at it right now, because you look over on the side of the Trojans from Dakota State University. They're 10-11 on their season record. They're 9-16 on hardpoint, and then they're 10-12 on search and destroy. Then lastly, 5-10 on control. Then we head over to Shawnee State, and, well, they're 12-8 on their total season. Hardpoint win-loss is a 14-13. Search and Destroy is a 12-8, and then Control's a 9-6. What are your thoughts here, Cash?
Looking at it, you have a completely winning record for Shawnee State, and then you don't for Trojan Esports. But I think the Search and Destroy is going to be really interesting, given that is going to be the most competitive mode, I believe, in this series. And what's the saying always goes? Search and Destroy wins championships. If Trojan Esports can look to extend this series and push it to a game 5, I think that's where they'll stand the best chance to take it. For Shawnee State, I mean, given your respawn prowess, 14-3, again, a winning record. It's not like some we've seen where, it's undefeated, but they have good reps in. Same thing with Control. They want to try to look to close this one out in 3 because I don't think they want to extend this series, looking at how much closer that Search and Destroy is.
Exactly. That Search and Destroy is going to definitely be an interesting one. I do agree that the respawn is probably going to be the strongest suit for the side of Shawnee State. I mean, the facts speak for themselves here overall. But talking about Shawnee State and Trojans Esports, let's head over to our home roster, because we've got an interesting lineup of players indeed. We've got Shaw Dynasty, Bruigs, Goblin, and Quesadilla. So a little bit of some Latino love for you there.
Yeah, looking at this squad, it's going to be Bruigs, who really leads the way for the team across all modes, and then Quesadilla is also one that plays strongly in the slaying column. So for a player that can turn up really quick and again still provide objective play, Quesadilla is definitely that. But as far as the kind of in-game role model, I'm not even going to say leader for the squad, but potentially, of course, but really just paving the way to kind of get the ball rolling is going to be Bruigs, and that's what I'm looking at for Trojan Esports.
Definitely so. That's definitely going to be a player that I'll look out for indeed. And let's head over to the other side of the aisle, or the other corner, if you will, as we look at our away roster for Shawnee State University, because we've got none other than on the roster, definitely going to be an interesting one. Our graphic is broken, but we do have the information. It's going to be White Chicken, Aek, the Shadow Man, scary, and Crazy Catherine, and then possibly we might see Primus here, who's their backup. But yeah, sorry, ladies and gentlemen at home. I know you were expecting a graphic. It happens sometimes. No worries for that.
I've seen the Shawnee State roster play early on in this season, and I know Crazy Catherine specifically does bring a lot to the table for this team. Obviously, they win their first matchup of the night in a 3-0 fashion. They're riding in on a lot of momentum. This squad, when all of their pieces are fit together, and whether it be the players gelling and vibing, whether it be the gameplay itself or the slaying, this squad is a dangerous one to stop. So for Trojan Esports, you're coming in here cold. You're coming in watching Shawnee State take a 3-0 series. You've got to come out and make a statement big. And as we look at our map set, we're kicking it off the same way here as our first.
Yeah, indeed so. And you look at the map set for tonight, and a bit of an interesting one. Cash, why don't you break it down for us?
Yeah, so we're going to go double dose of Berlin to kick things off and a Tuscan Control in game number 3. Those are our guaranteed modes. If we need it, we're going to go to a map 4 Gavitu Hardpoint, and if it goes to a game 5, we'll see a Bakaj Search and Destroy. Definitely interesting, as you were alluding to, given the size of the maps. We really don't shrink down until we get to Bakaj. It stays fairly large, maybe Tuscan, of course, being that mid map mode, but also just the one that's about medium size. But looking at Gavitu, going from Tuscan Control to Gavitu Hardpoint to Bakaj Search and Destroy, if we end up going that far, is definitely going to be quite the change up, and kind of like that jerky around feeling, like when you're in a car of just like, whoa, now we're on this map, and now we're shrinking down to Bakaj. So if we get to that later portion of the series, teams are going to have to make a lot of adjustments, but pretty run-of-the-mill stuff here for our first 3 maps.
Indeed so, and well, let's hop into this Berlin hard point, you know, like you said, as per usual for the opening, but let's hop in because it's going to be an interesting one indeed. You already see Shawnee State have control of the hill. You're going to have a bit of contest coming in from Trojan Esports, but overall, Shawnee State will stay up in the hill. Nobody's going to give anything just yet. There's 2 players on it. You even see Primus coming around here for him in the back, but he's going to lose his life to Goblin there.
First 30 seconds of time going fairly cleanly to Shawnee State to open up, and they work their way through, and now we're on rotation and have spawns for P2. So not only have they accrued just about all of this time, if they get it out cleanly, which they look to, it's going to be 45 seconds of time off P1 and rotation. Gunfight wins over at P2, so a near perfect start for Shawnee State to kick things off. Trojan Esports, they're going to have to catch fire quickly. If Shawnee State's going 45 seconds at a time on each hill, well, they'll start to climb that scoreline drastically.
Indeed so, and Shawnee State are coming off a 3-0, so they're feeling a lot more comfortable when it comes to these types of scenarios. You're going to have Shawnee just staying alive within the hill, realize, hey, there's going to be some aggression. Let me take this to a more lateral attack, and the fight's going to come in. Primus going to be able to get 1 kill, and, well, you have the slide-in coming in, and that's a 4 down. Shawnee State have the much better breakdown for the side of Trojans, and now we head over to this P3. As P2, they're still going to fight for that scrap.
This could be costly, and it looks like it's going to be just that for Trojan Esports. Sure, you get them off and get the last 10 seconds of scrap, but they still got just about 30 seconds off of P2 and have the rotation over to P3. Now, spawns still are on the back for Trojan Esports as P3 pops, but inside the hill, that's what matters, and that's where Shawnee State is. 20 seconds only accrued for Trojan Esports thus far, and they're spawning all the way out train side. Ace from the top rope, wiping players off the map, and again, Trojan State, they really don't have much pressure around the map. They've got to find a way to break in early, but as these players start to flood out of the hill, they're just finding kills off spawn and not letting Trojan Esports get close.
Indeed so, and they're already going to be able to break that 100-point threshold as we hop in towards the latter end of this hill, and you're going to see the contest coming in from the front. That's a 3-man breakdown, and, well, Primus is going to make it look easy. Nice little 2-piece. Gusher Goblin's going to be able to come in for the contest, and, well, now here with the 2-piece cleans it back up. They secure the 100 points, and the Trojans are going to have to try their hardest here and just get these rotations on point because they keep on challenging old, and currently they're not winning the old fights, so they're not even getting the rotations, so it's a loss in both scenarios.
Ace playing so well as Primus here, and really all 4 players pulling their weight. Crazy Catherine having a more quiet respawn to kick things off, but with 53 seconds of hill time, that is definitely what you need, and it is showing in the score line up 80 points through P4 or into P4. At Trojan Esports, they find a way to get in early, which is huge. They need to hang on to this time. They keep going 40 for 20 in the hill, and that's just 1, not going to close this gap, and 2, not going to get them to lead anytime soon. A solid P4 hold here could bring them life back into this game. That could close the gap to 30 points if they can get the rest of this time, but knowing Shawnee State and how they've played this to start, they're not going to let it go quietly.
Yeah, indeed so. They're not going to go quietly into the night, but you're going to see right here, Gusher Goblin, very nicely done. Gets the kill towards the back angle. Primus is hanging out towards top third, and, well, you find Goblin You get that kill. Now you can open up the site for your teammates. But Shawnee gonna come in from the top, from the back of the line, towards the top rope, if you will. 65 to 109 as we head towards P5. And, well, right now, Shawnee State are currently going to try and have to break this hill because Dakota State know what they're doing right now. They're just trying to hold the contest hill for as long as possible and try to close that gap as they head towards that second set of rotations.
They've done a good job at that. It's within, what, 30, 40 points at this point. They broke into P4 early, got a substantial amount of time there, and as you've mentioned for P5 tonight, it's so contest heavy that they're getting 5-10 seconds here and there. Getting Shawnee State off of it is the most important part. Now we see the lead continuing to dwindle down. Granted, they don't have spawns for P1, which is going to be important, but if they can fight their way through here, they could really turn this around as we get to our second set of rotations.
Indeed so, and you already see right now the spawns being in favor of Shawnee State, and they're going to hold this hill like they did the first time with little to no contention. The players are going to be trying to get through from the side of the Trojans, but each one of them just keep getting denied. Shawnee being the last man left here, going to try and fight for his life, but you will see a bit of a TK coming into the form of a stun. There you go. Crazy Catherine's going to lose their life as well. And Bruix comes in, like you said, that highlight player, now helping out the team. And Trojans are in a better position than they were in this hill last time.
They're getting good time and holding it from the front nonetheless. They don't have spawns, which means they do have P2 rotation to an extent. They are fairly bunched up here towards this bottom left corner of the map. Shawnee State players starting to leak through and try to find these kills, but it's Bruggs on rotation, watching these players and cutting them down in the mid-map, not letting them get a clean rotation to P2. And now, having a look at the score line, they have a 20-point lead. I mean, for Trojans, in the last 3 hills, they have strung together nearly 100 seconds of time. That's just been working wonders for them. They feel like they've arrived on the map. They're a little bit warmer and good to go. Shawnee State, it's their turn to respond.
Indeed, so this is the time to respond, and once again, like we saw the last time here on P2, a 4 down. The break unsuccessful for the side of the Trojans, so they will have to try and get back from the spawns. You're going to see Shawnee kills Ayek from the back line. Now these players are going to start moving in, and it's a trade-off here. Crazy Catherine hops in towards the top angle. White Chicken's going to still stay alive here. Not going to be able to lose his life until Quesadilla moves in, and there you go. Just some big fights coming in. 1 man left in this scenario. Teammates are coming in for their support. AX spawns up. There you go. They flip the lead back in their favor after what seemed was going to be a bit of a difficult momentum shift. They bring it back.
And they've locked this rotation to P3. This could be a huge chain for Shawnee State to blow this game wide open. They now find themselves with a 15-point lead and a clean rotation, players spawning in and over towards the site. If they can hold on here and keep Trojans' first wave of attack coming in for a clean break, again, this could put them very much at that 200-point mark and really start to put the pressure on Trojan Esports to have to play a bit quicker. If they can get a clean hold here, that can start to affect the P4 hold for Trojan Esports that they got so cleanly around. But as this pops, it is Trojan Esports all over it, trying to make something happen. 3-for-1 in the feed, though, is definitely going to change things.
It really will, and, well, that was a bit of a very sporadic, if you ask me, push right there from the side of the Trojans. They tried their best to get in, but you will see Quesadilla get in, but loses his life to Crazy Catherine. Primus comes in as well, but Goblin's going to stay alive here. Not in a position to really help out the team because, hey, you do not want to just rank and file. Will rank and file, like I said, unfortunately. So they lose their lives there. Primus being the last man here, even gets the kill onto Shawnee. That was just a stare down and a half, looking at each other, realizing, hey, is that my enemy? But overall, the rotation's already on for the side of the Trojans. This is a great change in pace from what they've been doing so far.
Where Trojan Esports got a substantial amount of time last go around, Shawnee State are able to break in and opened up very quickly. Still spawns in the back for Trojan for the time being, but Crazy Catherine is looking to change that. Falls, but where she falls, Primus is able to pick up, and once again, it is Shawnee State holding this hill time. They're holding it from the front for the time being, but with that final kill, this should give them back spawn clearance, and now over that 200-point mark, have grown this back out to a 60-point lead. Trojan Esports, once we got back to that first set of hills, they've just fallen off in a sense, right? They got their footing around P4 last go around, and Shawnee State's not letting them replicate that, so this is why we are seeing Shawnee State as a better team so far.
Exactly so, and Primison was able to get a 7 streak that's going to guarantee full streaks for him. So, Shawnee State have a glide bomb in their back pocket. This is going to be great because P5 is possibly the most open hill besides the train yard that we saw in P4. So, you can definitely get a kill here with that one. But the Trojans are going to try their best. They're going to hold it for as long as they can. They need to try and just get past that 27 points on the hill. Then they can worry about a rotation. So, it's just all about contesting, influencing, and redirecting this aggression. But the trade-offs come in, players are going to lose their lives, and the Trojans stay victorious in that sense.
They did a great job of this the first time on P5, but Shawnee State, they still have the ability to win it here. You have to contest it for about 5 more seconds to push this back to P1, but once again, if you're Trojan Esports, you don't have P1 rotation, so not only do they have to work out a spawn, they have to work through the hill and across the map to give themselves a fighting chance. And for Shawnee State, you have the win condition set. You simply have more options to close this game out. Not only do you not need this bit of scrap time, but you've just got to hold the line here for about 10 seconds and you close it out for Trojan Esports. They fought back hard, but it's just been a little bit too late for them here. Lead got to be a bit too much, and Shawnee State, they were able to close it out.
Indeed so, a bit of a trade-off there, 4 for 1, and well, Shawnee State overall had a much better game when it came to this first map on Berlin, so they will win 250 to 172. Trojans Esports, unfortunately, were a little bit closer than what was expected for them to come back here, but it just slipped through their hands. A lot of the times their setups were not all there, so they were not able to encapsulate that the defensive position that they needed overall.
And we're gonna set our eyes forward on a Berlin S&D. For Shawnee State, they won this in their previous match just a little bit ago, 6-5, so a round 11 situation on Berlin. This is the map we were talking about for Trojan Esports, where they stand the best chance to try and take a map off of Shawnee State. You won it in a round 11 fashion the last go around. Can you win it in that fashion or win it a little bit quicker here against a team that stands the best chance to take it off of you? That's going to be really interesting coming up here for Trojan Esports to try to respond.
Indeed, the Trojans are going to really need to try their best here in terms of positioning. They were not in any means doing well with that positioning. The only positioning that we saw was that P4 towards the end. They had that rotation, and that was only because they were canceled out of that P3 so much that they, at that point, you got to address the elephant in the room and just say, hey, let's just rotate. Let's get this down. Let's get this P4 going. And they did. But it took an elephant barging in to acknowledge this fact. It was not even something that they were accounting for. A lot of the times they were contesting kills with 15 seconds left. That is not a game-winning mentality nor a game-winning playbook to try and go, hey, you know what? These guys are like really good slayers. Let's just hop in the hill, try to take that 15. 8 times out of 10, they were just killed from that attempt. So you lose that 15 already, but now you lose the respawn and your team chem is all over the place. That's why I said earlier it was sporadic. There was little to no really organization as a team. There was no chance of them just moving forward and rotating around hills like they needed to be.
That definitely is the case, and for them to respond here in the search and destroy, they've got to take control of that pacing. They've got to play at the pace that they want to. Again, Shawnee State coming in off of a win definitely puts them at a higher, more elevated level as far as tempo and energy goes. Trojan Esports, they started to wake up there towards the mid-map, but you've got to find a way to string it together for the entirety of the search and destroy, because if you go down 0-2 here, well, that can be a scary thing, because Shawnee State is a team that wants to close it out, and they definitely are the stronger respawn team. But regardless, going to, the bigger picture, winner of the series advances to round 3, where they would take on Bowling Green State University. So there's so much to look forward to as playoffs and LCQ really start to shake out and move on. But getting back into this series tonight, Trojan Esports, they've got to find a way to respond here and not let Shawnee State go up 2-0 going into another respawn.
Exactly. This is the time for the Trojans to, play their game. This is an A-B game. This is not a just, you know, having their way with B. But no, this is reactive versus proactive. Shawnee
Hmm.
State were so much more proactive last map, and you could already tell they were a much more proactive team with the scores that we got from their first match in the winner in the round one. So right now, the Trojans, yeah, you know, they're waking up, but the sense of waking up is more or less they've still got suds in their eyes. They're still trying to figure out where they're at, and they're just not doing it very well in terms of their positioning and their awareness. So this is
Hmm.
going to have to be a big wake up, or are we going to see a snooze spell over the side of Dakota State?
We saw, if you've been here from the beginning of the stream, you know that Berlin was a very B friendly map. I mean, we know that from the entirety of the Vanguard season. It was all offense, and then when teams started going A, it became all defense. We will see if that's the case here, or if teams stick to the tried and true B route and find ways to clutch up on defense. Shawnee State once again sitting at 12-8 in the search and destroy, 10-12 for Trojan Esports. Perhaps the closest map in this series, and it's going to be Shawnee State kicking things off on offense with a 3-1 split over to this B site.
Yup, and once again, B being that position that we talked about before, and well, Shawnee's going to be able to win that kill onto AX. Now Crazy's going to move in, looking around, and notice that, hey, this player may have jumped out through the windows. Not to fear, I'm going to go for the plant. Although you do see White Chicken coming in, was able to help out, get through that edge. Brewiggs, oh, Brewiggs sees White Chicken towards the back line. Not going to be able to get him just yet, but times a nade. And there is no effect, unfortunately. So it's still 3-2. We have Goblin moving in through the back line. And this is what I talked about before, Cash. Having somebody go through that back line to clean up anybody in there. And that's what they're doing right now.
That is a great play to make, but the clock just plays so much of a role whenever you have 3 players to find and kill before you can even collapse on the site. That player gets found out before that's even possible, and Bruggs, with no progress made in lives, has no time left to work with Shawnee State. They take the opening round with 3 lives still standing.
Yeah, and we talked about it before, Cash. We talked about the positioning from the side of the Trojans. Right there, it felt more or less a reactive of aggression. And
Yeah.
by all means, you want to get aggressive, right? But you want to make sure it's like a fine-tempered steel. You want to make sure
Hmm.
you're cutting through the defenses and making sure you can get the plays. But there, it just felt like they were aggressively throwing their head at the wall and seeing if it worked.
Yeah, and sometimes you got to throw things at the wall and see if it sticks, especially on an opening round where nothing's on the line quite yet. You just got to see what works. That defensive approach did not, but they're going to be in this B site early, making very little noise. So Bruggs very much going to get this bomb down with little to no contestation. Now they see that go down, instead of the 2 arrows turning and flooding back through P3, the Shawnee State players are trying to work through this map, but Gusher has the biggest play trying to cut these players off before they cross through.
Indeed so, and we're going to see a big fight here towards the top, and Quesadilla's going to open up with the first blood. Crazy to think that has a first blood when there's only 25 seconds left on this bomb. And there hasn't really been any movement from the side of Shawnee State. They've just been trying to root out these players, and they losing their lives. So now you only have Primus, who's going to be caught in a 4-way twist of fate here, death. But hey, you're going to try your best and go for the positioning, but you're going to lose your life. The Trojans win that one very closely. Keep it to the chest.
2 offenses, both B hits. Once we get another round or 2 on the board, we're definitely going to see offenses try to switch things up. We'll see if anyone looks to switch it up early. Shawnee State still with the momentum and the really X factor to decide if they want to switch things up as they go back on offense. They found success at B. Do you stick with that the whole time so long as you're finding success? I guess that's the question waiting to be answered. But as they scoop up this bomb and take off, it is going to be bully ball in this A side. The only problem is, are they going to get it planted quick enough to capitalize on their map positioning?
Indeed so. Well, Primus is going to get the first kill onto Shoddy. Quesadilla's going to move in for the advantageous movement. And there you go. Gets the opportunistic kill. Catherine's going to go for the bomb plant. And Aek even finds Goblin. That is great positioning awareness out of them. Now it's a 3-2. 40 seconds left. Just stay up here. Do not get overzealous. You have the man advantage. There's 35 seconds left overall. Just do what the Trojans did to you. Just play at the time and get it done.
I was watching the arrows, strictly just seeing their movement, and everyone but Crazy Catherine was just head on a swivel, twisting around and around. Finally, there, after about 5 or 10 seconds, they all just settled in, had their lanes locked. They were in a comfortable post plant setup, and that gives them another clean offensive round. You have to clear out a couple of things before you can get too comfortable on the A site for post plant. They do their due diligence, find themselves another round on the board, and go up 2-1.
Man, I tell you, overall, that was a pretty good round for the side of Shawnee State. We didn't see anyone get overzealous, and personally, that's what I love. I'm a big person when it comes to just playing the time. It's search and destroy. You don't want to get overzealous here. You know what you're doing. So that was great to see from the side of Shawnee State. Now, as we head towards this B from the side of the Trojans, you already see there's a two-man setup coming in. That's White Chicken and AEK. Brewing's going to run in, and, well, White Chicken's going to be waiting there for him. So we're going to see this contest come in, and he's going to lose his life. So there goes the bomb. Now they know the bomb is down. They can hold it to the T now.
The bomb's down in the site, and White Chicken's still in there. As you were alluding to, Premise finding kills on the other side of the map as well. Yeah, maybe if you find the kills, you stand a chance, but how difficult is it with this bomb being down in the B site to break in, find the kill, and get the bomb down with players collapsing around you? Not very easy at all. Shawnee is going to get found out and killed there. So the first defensive round goes the way of Shawnee State. They find themselves up 3-1, but really White Chicken, as you had said in that B site, opened things up with the first blood is a huge play.
I think that was a great play overall to just not only because we've seen a lot of players, gosh, just go around the window and wait for that push, but to just go through the windows, that is a very much a bold play because not only can you get caught through the windowsill, you can just get shot down real quick, but it played out. You got the timing right, and it played really well because now we see they're at a 3-1, and this is different from a back and forth because overall the Trojans are much more slower when it comes to that positioning. So you get them out of their comfort zone and you make it happen. And now as we're in this next round, you lose someone, you lose a premise, so that's going to be a bit of a tough one. You lose one of your ARs, so you will need to keep it close to the chest.
And it is hard because when you commit to this A site, you really bottle yourself in the bottom side of the map ace, trying to work back through train and just see if they can get any map positioning and real estate back. If they can find Quesadilla creeping up through P5, that could be a huge kill to open up rotation back to B. That's exactly what happens here. So you have a little bit more to work with if you're Shawnee State, but they're still committed to this A site. Gusher Goblin trying to make the kills happen, but White Chicken on the pinch. They get clearance back on this site. No one's able to rotate back over for Trojan Esports. This has been a wonderful play out of Shawnee State, and it all started behind that pick from Ace.
Exactly so, and, well, this is going to be a bit of an interesting one because they can just defend the bomb. They were in this position 2 rounds ago. So you're going to see I get the kill onto Breweggs. What was a difficult round, now a much more feasible situation. Shawnee being the last person left, and unfortunately is a 1-3 right now. So him and Breweggs are having quite a difficult game, and White Chicken's going to be able to find that kill. Shawnee State now pummeled through their 3rd round in a roll and bring it 4-1.
Shawnee State have come alive here after taking their first defense. It's been all gas for them in this Berlin S&D. They don't want another round 11 if they can avoid it. Of course, there's still plenty of time for Trojan Esports to mount a comeback. But the way Shawnee State's playing with White Chicken on 4 and Ace playing his heads up as he is around the map, this is definitely Shawnee State's to lose. Now the pressure's on Trojan Esports. They have to make a play on this Ace site. Of course, they haven't committed everything yet. You could still rotate given where map positioning shakes out, but with a 2-2 split, you definitely need to pick here if you're Bruggs. Like you said, having a slower S&D, someone who usually is slaying at the top levels, someone you'd like to see turn up here if this Trojan Esports squad wants any life.
Indeed so, and there's a minute left right now. You see Primus towards the back lane. Brewiggs being that player to try and give that information. Catherine's going to be hanging out in a much more closer interval that has yet to be discovered or compromised. Overall, they're going to have it. Big kill from White Chicken. Catherine picks up another one, and White Chicken picks up the 3rd, and it was a big collapse. Shawnee just blinked, said, "Where's my team?" And he loses his life, and now Shawnee State get themselves much closer to that win as now they head towards the match point.
Blink and you might miss it, like you said. Shawnee's like, all right, I'm ready for this bomb plant. Wait a minute. Oh, where'd everyone go? Shawnee State playing so well right now, like you said, at match point to go up 2-0 in the series, looking like a team in solid form for this LCQ run. White Chicken on a 6th streak, all players on an active streak, trying to close this series out here. A couple of slow starts from players for Trojan Esports, or slow starts and really slow endings, as we're seeing from players that usually influence the success of the Trojan Esports squad. 1 round left on offense to do it. Shawnee State, can they get it done?
And you see right there, Shawnee's able to find Primus. That opens up the back lane. No players are going to be hanging out towards B, and Shawnee State are on the attack, so this is not a good look for them. They're currently getting besieged. Quesadilla's going to hang out below. There's 2 players near him. Can he find them? We will definitely need to see, but he sees them in the floorboards. That's going to be White Chicken. Now it's a 2v3. The Trojans are up in the man count. You have a split design here from all the players on the Trojans. It's just going to come down to these 1v1s here, Cash.
Big 1v1 is player 2 and 8 are just kind of hanging out beside each other. Brooks is going to pick him off bomb. That's going to give Ace the chance to find and get that kill. But with bomb down now on this A site and the pinch play coming in, Ace has not much time to work with. But I kind of like this wraparound play that could possibly come in, just shooting to try to draw these players in. Gonna try to find 1 kill, but I like the idea there from Ace just to get a little bit mixy and draw some players out, getting over aggressive. Trojan Esports get a much needed round on the board with still a lot of work to do. Shawnee State, they go back on defense. And again, you give yourself this room for error. You have a couple of rounds to play with. For Trojan Esports, though, you respond on defense and make a big stand.
You really do. And AC was in a prime position there to find that player off angle, but it just came down to the looks of it. But overall, we still are at a match point. It's 5-2. The Trojans would have a bit of a sliver of light here to try and make a comeback here. Quesadilla is going to be hanging out towards the bottom of this P3, but no players are going to really give up anything just yet. And it's just playing the overzealous game now.
And this play has slowed down tremendously from Trojan Esports on offense. They know that they can't quite, like you said, run into this through 1 lane. They need to not file and order it, but take their time and work their picks, or excuse me, rank and file it and run through really with the bomb. Quesadilla trying to find any kind of information to decide where they're leaning to get this down. All players sitting back in their spawn, and as Shawnee State advance up the map, that's only going to serve to trap these Trojan Esports players back in their spawn, already being in a 4v3 situation.
You have the 4v3 and all these players playing very quiet and slow, and AC unfortunately gets taken down by Quesadilla. Now it's a 3v3. Bomb is going to come down here in just a second. White Chicken looking out through the cracks, not going to be able to find any players. The indication has been given now that the bomb has been planted. 40 seconds overall. You have a player hanging out towards the back line, which, once again, we got to send somebody through, and that's going to be Primus, but Primus was a moment too late. We'll be able to find Shawnee off angle. So now it's a 2v2. 1 player hanging out towards B, 1 going on the rotation, and that's going to be Goblin here pretty soon.
The rat back coming into effect. Can he move quick enough? If Primus gets picked here, which he does not. Now in a 1v1 situation, 6 seconds left to make a play. Jumps into the site, tries to get the timing, and unfortunately with the pistol can't get it done. 2 rounds in a row for Trojan Esports, chipping away bit by bit, bringing this one back. It's now 5-3.
I really was expecting Primus to just pop off there with the rat, but unfortunately, they're going to be able to lose that one. Trojan Esports, they're turning up, Cash. I'm not going to lie. They are turning up. They're getting really nice picks here. And like you said, they're just not playing that rank and file game anymore. They're just waiting now. Then you can tell it's more or less a desperation act more than a strategy switch.
It is, and going back to what they did the first round, throwing something at the wall and see what sticks. Well, the last couple of rounds, they've been able to string together something that works for them now on defense. Getting picked off this A site once again. AC opening things up the first blood, Primus with the second. This could be just a bit too much now with the bomb going down for Trojan Esports to respond from. When Shawnee State have wanted clearance on this site, they've been able to get it with little to no resistance and get the bomb down. Wheedling it down to a 2v3 situation, it is a little bit more possible, but that time starts to come into effect, and you've just got to start to make a play.
Exactly. You just need to play to the time here now. You can't get overzealous. White Chicken's going to get some shots through the back. 24 seconds left. It's just playing calm, cool, and collected now. Crazy Catherine does not notice that. Shawnee's going to be actually hanging out towards the back lane, and White Chicken wins that one. That's going to be a huge one. Now you just wait for the 7-second mark, and you even see Crazy Catherine pick up the kill, and Shawnee State win in a very close one, 6-3. Now 2-0 in the series.
Props to Trojan State for trying to make a comeback there, but like you said, it's Shawnee State who get it done in the end. Now they find themselves up 2-0 going into a control. They've got to be feeling really good, but the job's not done. You've got to close out and finish strong. You can't get lax here, being up 2-0 in the series. Shawnee State, again, you've got to be favoring them going into this respawn. They won their last respawn by a margin of 80 points. Now they go into control where they're also much better in as a squad. I've got to be favoring them, and I think they want to put it away in a 3-0, and that would be quite the statement to make in your first night of LCQ to win both your matches in a 3-0 fashion.
Exactly so. This is the time to turn up, like we talked about at the beginning of this cast. This is the time to really show up, put up the numbers, do what is needed to be done. Make sure that your team is playing every asset and facet of the game to the best of their ability, and that's what we've been seeing so far from the first series in a close 3-0 to now a 2-0, and this is more of a domination than anything. Shawnee State have had a great run so far. The first 3-0 they did really well on, and now they're on a 2-0, currently heading towards a 3-0 for this third map, which is going to be Tuscan. So we're going to have to see what's going to happen here as we head towards this break. Will the Trojans be able to regain, recollect, and refocus themselves? Will Shawnee State take it all and go into 3-0? You decide in the chat. We'll see you after the short break. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed that short break there. We're excited because it is now map 3 in this very, very dominant map set that we've had here in tonight's matchup. Shawnee State Bears currently up 2-0 against the Trojans from Dakota State University. And Cash, how you feeling about the series so far? I gotta ask you.
I'm feeling good. It's a good look for Shawnee State to come out and play the way that they are, not only through round 1, but what we've seen of this one so far as well. They find themselves up 2-0 going into a Tuscan control, which in round 1 they took in a 3-1 fashion. So I do expect the same thing from them going into this one. I expect them to win it. Trojan Esports have yet to show enough to be able to string and coordinate together to find substantial amounts of success in this series. Shawnee State, as you said, coming into the show, has just been a bit too dominant. So I do expect to see them close out here. Now, whether it's in 3 or in 5, we'll have to find out. But yeah, I'm expecting Shawnee State to win big tonight.
I expect so too. The stats have not lied to us. The last 3-0, the current map sets that we've seen from, Hardpoint, which is 250 to 172. Then our last map, which was Berlin Search and Destroy, which was 6-3. It did get a little more dicey towards the middle, but at the end, we did see Shawnee State winning. So overall, as we head towards this Tuscan, we see that they are more respawn favored, but it doesn't feel justified to say Respawn favored from how well they played in that S&D. I think they're just an all-around good team that know their basics and know their fundamentals, and especially like a map like Tuscan, well, if you're not mechanically gifted and good with your basics of Call of Duty, it might be time to hit the drawing board because you may be going home.
And what I like about Tuscan is, as you mentioned, it's so rewarding to players and teams that play Fundamental, being a 3-lane map with pretty basic run-of-the-mill play styles. It can reward you for those flashy big plays that individuals can make. So that's what makes it one of the most entertaining maps to watch here. Again, for Shawnee State, I expect players like AC and White Chicken to make those individual flashy plays. But as a team goes, this team is fundamentally sound and definitely also going to have a huge payoff for that.
Indeed so, and talking about payoff, let's see the attack here from the side of the Trojans. They will be going for this A slot immediately. The fight for mid being a big part of this conversation. And, well, Shawnee's going to be moving in, gets the first kill onto AC, and, well, Crazy's going to be able to respond back. Now you have Quesadilla getting the first kill, gets the second now. There you go. You cleared up the opposition. You can stack the hill, get towards that 2 points of progression. And Bruix, well, we talked about it before, how he's much more favorable in a respawn. Immediately goes off with a 3-piece.
Makes work of Church and P4 to give his team a little more insurance policy over towards the A site. Now the second tick of progression coming in. AC trying to work through the mid-map and wait for a time to pounce on this site once again. Shawnee State in firm control of the mid-map, trying to, well, what I thought was get through there and make a play on the A site. Bruggs and Shawnee, they combined to get it done, and now as they work their way through Church and Catwalk, they're going to find a way onto this B site in quick succession, also being up 7 lives. This has been a really dominant offense from Trojans.
It really has, and you're going to see it in the life count most definitely. It's 6 right now, and Bruix just going crazy in the spawn, 7-1, and Quesadilla's going to lose his life, but what looks like a bit of an opening here. Shawnee's going to come in and try and snuff it out, but Primus wins that one very closely to the chest. Now Bruix still alive here. He's on a 5 streak, potential for streaks, so he doesn't want to throw this away.
Doesn't want to, but really isn't causing problems. I suppose staying alive is just more important than anything, but now as the players start to get kills in and around the site, we see Bruggs start to make a play, but Crazy Catherine with a huge kill there to clear him out. Now the rest of the players are going to try to look to collapse on the site, trying not to let one tick of progression come in, but as soon as Bruggs come back up spawn, he's instantly making plays and influencing these players around the map. The first tick of progression comes in for Trojan Esports, and they are still getting the kills around the site that they need to. Premise, though, when he needs to come up big for the squad, he does just that. Gets clearance, but with 4 lives left, Trojan Esports, you've done your job.
Indeed so. And there's a minute 13 here, and Shawnee State have very little chances of just holding it down. This would be a monumental effort. All 3 players are going to play together, though. This is what you want to see. You want to make sure that they're doing their best, and AC is going to be making some noise here, but unfortunately loses his life, and White Chicken's going to throw away his as well, and Crazy's going to be shooting as well, and just to give up the life count, because they don't want to lose any more ticks for that round 5. They're playing for that round 5, so what looks very, beguiling in terms of a strategy is actually a forward-thinking strategy to just lose your lives, play the ticks, and get it.
Like you said, it looks a little crazy to watch because you're like, wait, why would they just want to get killed like that? But you don't want them to secure more progression at B. You want to end the round as quickly as possible. They do that. Again, Trojan Esports come out very strong on an offense. I'm just impressed with how well they came out. But looking at this round, Primus opens up with a great grenade in the mid-map, but it's Bruggs, who has been a problem in the side of Shawnee State this entire control thus far. Collects once again, but at this B side, it's already going to be a near tick of progression and coming in for Shawnee State.
And it looked very close there. They were not able to get the first tick at all for B, so this movement towards A is going to have to be a result of action here, and Primus is the last player, and, well, would you look at that? Immediately snuffed out. They know where he is. He's going to have to run away from the back line, and, well, he does get that kill. That's going to be massive. You do lose all the progression on B, though. The fight towards A is not successful either, and the Trojans, well, this is new life that we have yet to see from them.
This is Shawnee State playing a little discombobulated. They're not playing together. Look at how many solo players are challenging this site. They need to start to get progression somewhere. Trojan Esports, they are so close off spawn to this B site. Finally, a clearance over here at A, but hopefully that doesn't come back to bite them. They threw quite a bit of time and quite a bit of lives over here towards this B site. Players still cutting them down, and a life advantage favoring Trojan Esports on defense. So for Shawnee State, you really got to bunker down here and get some good progression, get this A site captured.
Exactly. So you need to start getting these takes in, because right now, currently, the Trojans do have 3, so you do match them in kind, but you are down currently in the life counter. You cannot give up anything else. You need to try at least get 1 tick on this next hill. You're going to fight for it. White Chicken's going to try and stay up, and he does. He kills Bruigs. That's a big kill. You're going to need to stop Quesadilla, though, because he is currently on a ringer as well. He's 13-5, and while Bruigs is 17-7. Two players that have really stepped up this last rounds.
Backline holding strong, but they're sunk so deep in their spawn. If they get wiped here for Trojan Esports, they'll be spawning P4 and field. That'll give Shawnee State clearance to stack this site, but they've kept the life advantage in their favor. Bruigs having a much more comfortable respawn at 18-8, and again, 3 slower performances from the Shawnee State players. Everyone apart from Premise, who isn't having a crazy game by any means, but the slaying's really been what's given Trojans kind of that padding and room for error. Shawnee State have yet to find a lane, and once again find themselves with single-digit lives.
Indeed so, and 13-9 right now, and oh, Shawnee's going to be able to get that kill towards the back, and AC throws away his life, throwing himself at the back line there. Not a great play to look at overall in the big scheme of things. 13-5, and, well, the Trojans are just taking advantage of all of these miscalculations and plays.
Really sloppy out of Shawnee State.
Yeah.
They've just kind of been throwing these first couple of rounds. Like you said there, I don't know if it was Premise or who or AC, but who was on B and just kind of chowed the back line for no real reason. Now in a 3v12 situation, once again, yeah, you get a couple of kills. I suppose if they can string this together, it is possible, but Shawnee on a 6 streak. If you let them find the last kill, that could be full streaks on the round. Trojan Esports are up 2-0 for Shawnee State. You've got to win 3 straight to do this, and right now you're also down a tick because they were able to get 1 for Trojan Esports the last go around. I'm impressed. Trojan Esports, like you said, this looks like a different squad.
Indeed so. There really hasn't been too much of this type of gameplay or play style from the side of the Trojans. This is completely a new team. This is night and day. That break was really a time of recollection and regaining here. Unfortunately, Shawnee State have just been throwing themselves away. Yeah, they're up 2-0 in the map count, but gentlemen, this is not the time to get your foot off the pedal. In fact, this is the time to work even harder to close it off. And, well, the fight's going to come in, and they're going to keep losing their lives as they throw themselves rank and file towards this A.
Brugge snapping on White Chicken there just, for me, seals the deal on how this control has gone. A is already secured and over 2 minutes on the clock now. Once again, life advantage for Trojans. They played the hard point fairly well, but this is just completely different. Shawnee on a 9 streak, Brugge on a 3. It's just Shawnee State, again, I keep saying sloppy, but we at 9-6 expected them to come in and handle this control. Trojan Esports at 5-10 was not expecting this kind of play. Now, again, it isn't over until it's over. Of course, Shawnee State can make a great stand here, but from what we've seen thus far, I don't know that it's going to happen.
I don't either. And it's going to take a big movement from the side of Shawnee State to wake up mid-game and readjust. That's what makes great teams, the teams that can, make those mid-game adjustments. Crazy and White Chicken are going to be able to get a 2-piece right there. That'll stop the influence from the site. But overall, you still have one player towards that back line. That's going to be Quesadilla. If Quesadilla cannot get taken out, then you're still going to have a problem at your roots. But Premise and Co., it's no problem to them. They're going to move up aggressively. Brugge's going to be able to get that kill with the rat. And, well, Quesadilla gets overzealous, gets excited, and makes the unfortunate play to lose his life. So now White Chicken and Co., they have this hold on to this area for now. But from the side of the Trojans, this is just oversight that they could have easily closed out this map. But right now it's coming down to the minute mark.
60 seconds left, and great map positioning for Shawnee State. If they can collapse over on P5, they could blow this push up completely. It's going to be up to White Chicken to sniff these players out. Trigger Discipline comes in and pays off, finds 1, finds 2, and with 1 player left for Trojans up at this B site, they are quickly running out of time here. Lives even. It's going to come down to the clock. Shawnee State, you've got to hold on here if you want to stay alive and not let this go to a map 4.
Yep, and well, you're going to have a bit of a fight here. AC is going to lose his life, and Bruggs is going to hop on, but he's going to get caught reloading. That's crazy. Going to be able to capitalize on that unfortunate opportunity. But now you have this player towards the back line. Once again, it's going to be none other than Goblin. And Goblin's still going to stay alive. The grenade from Quesadilla came in from heaven, dropped it onto him. 9 and 10, now 11 seconds left. AC is going to be able to get the kill onto Quesadilla. And now Goblin stops the time for now to try and give his team a breath of fresh air.
I'm shocked they haven't pounced on the site and cleared them off. That gives the Trojan teammates a bit more time to get on the site. I don't know that anyone's going to get here to make one last play. Bruggs is the last one that can. Still hanging on for the time being, but finally gets killed. Shawnee State, they tighten things up there and get a much-needed defensive round. Still only down 1 tick, which I think, given the gameplay we've seen from Shawnee State, probably the more impressive part of all of this, that they're only down 1 tick.
Exactly. So you really need to just step up if you are the side of the Trojans. You can't let this new spark of life come through. But White Chicken win on a 7 streak last round and now has full streaks to go. So this is going to be difficult for the side of the Trojans. If Shawnee State can get this site on A and grab B, then they will automatically qualify for the defense. And with a great 2-piece opener like that, that is not the type of introduction you wanted into this round.
Got to remember, Trojan Esports also have full streaks and shoddy. Those can be called in any time, but Trojan Esports, with a very slow push towards this A site, is already going to be captured for Shawnee State. They have streaks to work with. If they want to open up the site, they could hang on to it. I think given how fast they captured A, if they can make a quick transition over to B, you could force a streak out of Trojan Esports, and that puts the ball back in your court. Now you're still down 1 round, and this is a must-win offensive round. But with a streak to play behind and 2 minutes of clock to work with, this is definitely better than what we've seen.
Indeed so. 25-26 right now. We have 1:58. This is plenty of time to get things going. Shawnee's going to get a kill towards the back line. Now every player from the side of Shawnee State are going to try and go through, but Crispy's going to try and get this one. He is able to find one. Crazy's able to find the recollection right there. And, well, Shawnee and Bruggs are still staying up for their team, and they get it done. Bruggs stepped up big time in those first 2 rounds, and now the calling has come back again.
Bruggs going huge at 33 and 19. Want to see Shawnee State give this another look. You still have 1:20 to work with, but it's got to be together. They're trying to work through mid-map and church here, but again, player 8 is your furthest pushed up player. If AC dies, that's just going to be a problem. The church lane is open up as Trojans are hunkered back in their spawn. This is a must-win round, so really you're going to have to use a streak here if this time starts to dwindle and you can't find an opening here soon. You don't want to wait until it's too late, and once again you find yourself down 6 lives.
Yep, you are down right now, so you're going to need to really stick together, make this happen overall, but you're going to have a big fight towards the back line. Crazy's going to try and break it down, but unfortunately throws it away with Quesadilla, and there comes the glide bomb. They get the player out of their spawns. Now you can breathe, get yourself going, do not lose any unnecessary lives, and AC's going to hang out, and, well, what was a gutsy challenge last time wins for him, so they get the first tick. You need to get this win overall. You can't just get off, and, well, Shawnee's got a glide bomb of his own, throws it towards the back line, kills Crazy, but does not stop the progression. The 2 ticks have been secured. It's 18-10 in live. White Chicken's going to hang out towards the top alley there and lose his life. So now it's 17-9 with 28 seconds left.
This is your last push if you're Shawnee State to stop this from going to a map number 4. You've got 1 push left. Everyone 4 Trojans hunkered in the back. They're trying to hit this through radio and flat. Premise is going to fall first. That is by no means any way you want to try to get going on this site. Gusher gets 1 in church. That is going to be all of the players having fallen around the site. Player 6 is the last one up, and Crazy Catherine just trying to stay alive on the site. Trojan Esports, they take a control that, I'll be honest, they had no business really taking, but given how sloppy Shawnee State played that, I guess so. They really capitalized on the mistake Shawnee State was making, and whenever Shawnee State tried to make a play, it was just too late.
Indeed so, and so now we are guaranteed a 4th map here. Dusk in control, going 3-1 in favor of Dakota State University for the Trojans. Now we're heading over to a Gavatu hardpoint. So this is going to get really dicey because we know now that the Trojans are ramped up. They're ready to go. They're feeling good. They are not out of this fight yet. When usually teams check themselves out mentally, they have put their chest plate of armor, they put all their stuff, all their battle gear, and they are ready to go now. They're ready for war. Shawnee State right now, it really wasn't a comfortable map for them. You could tell they were not doing anything that they usually were known for in those first two maps. The positioning was off. They were not playing together really, and they were just falling in rank and file. You allowed Brueggs and Quesadilla to take advantage of you, and now you lost that map. So you're going to really need to step up here and stop this momentum that the Trojans have created for themselves.
They are going to have to. Again, I know I said going into that one I had favored Shawnee State to take that.
Me too.
It was really shocking performance, but still going into this Gavitu hardpoint, I expect them to take it still. Trojan Esports, they've shown life, and it was good gameplay from Trojan Esports. I don't want to take away from them for how they were able to, again, I think more so capitalize on the mistakes Shawnee State was giving them, which was a lot. So they had a lot they took advantage of. But for Shawnee State, we've seen the kind of respawn they can play. If they get back to that fundamental play style that they have, they should be able to handle this Gavitu control. For Trojan Esports, though, like you said, you have wind in the sails. Maybe that starts to kind of get that team chem and that flow around the map a little bit cleaner. So anything can happen. But for Shawnee State, still being one map away from taking the series, I've got to be favoring them.
Exactly. So you favor Shawnee State in this situation because we've seen what they can do. We saw those first two maps. There was no chance of the Trojans even coming back. I mean, that Berlin, talk about the Berlin, 250 to 172. The Trojans were not getting any rotations down. And in a map like Gavitu, where ARs are going to be your worst enemy or your greatest ally. And from what we saw in a map where ARs do dominantly well, like Berlin, I want to give some love to the Trojans. They did good that last map. I will admit they took advantage of Shawnee State. They made sure that they were doing everything possible to overtake all of those miscomings. But Shawnee State are just much better in this aspect of the game. Rotations, positioning, and AR work. They do it, and they do it well. They do the electric slide. They're dancing all over them. But we're going to have to really see, because the Trojans, like I said, like you mentioned, there's wind in their sails now. They are in a momentum. So, Call of Duty, at the end of the day, is a momentum game. So we could easily see a map 5, maybe a round 11, heck. But that is, like I said, putting on the eye of Agamotto here, pulling the Doctor Strange. That's just a timeline, a possibility, something within our realm here. Because right now, from what we're seeing, with just the fact Shawnee State are the more favorite team, and so I'm going to have to go with Shawnee State on this one as well.
And it's, like you said, not out of the realm for Trojan Esports what they'd have to do to force us to a map 5. And even before I get to that point, what we alluded to at the top of the show is this is where they stand the best chance to win the series, is if they can push it to a map 5. Granted, I didn't think it would be them winning, a control and having to do it in reverse sweep fashion. We thought they would have taken the S&D possibly, but given how the S&D went for them, if they can tighten it up a little bit and not let a lead be accumulated by Shawnee State, they could put themselves in a really good position for game 5. Obviously, for them to win, it'd have to go that distance, but you've got to focus on what's right ahead of you, and that's going to be the Gavitu hardpoint, where if you can get your ARs in power positions and really capitalize on map positioning, that could be huge. We know Trojan players can go on streaks and do what they need to for the team around the map in the kill department. Is all of it going to be put together here to win back-to-back respawns against the Shawnee State squad that sits well as a respawn squad? So again, like you said, it's a momentum game. You have some wind in the sails. You have some ways you can work it now that you have a little bit of life and energy, and you catch Shawnee State lacking for another map and force us to a game 5.
Indeed, so we're going to really need to see if the game 5 is within the realm of possibility here after this map. But as we hop in, once again, I'm looking for these ARs to turn up. Grueg is going to need to really do what he did last map, not only take advantage of the distractions and the problems from the side of Shawnee State, but really play comfortable here. And as we hop in towards this P1, it's a nice little 4-3 setup here. Then there you go. There's going to be a big 2-for-1 trade. Catherine's going to be getting some fights in, but overall, the side of Shawnee State have a great position here. They win that one and are now able to hold the hill.
We saw them open up the Berlin hardpoint with about 45 seconds of time off the rip, so they're a really dominant team off the opening break of hardpoints. We see nothing different here in the fight for map positioning. Shawnee State have somewhat of an advantage given that they have ring control, but as I say that, Trojan Esports looks to make a collapse for scrap time and also look to get boat positioning as we look ahead towards P2 in the mid-map. Shawnee State looking to fill the gaps and make a collapse on the hill, but to go down on transition, and as this hill pops, it'll be Trojan Esports in control.
Indeed so, and well, there's going to be a big play here from White Chicken to try and get towards the top and clear out the opposition to make sure, but oh, gets caught on the mantle with the gun. That's just an unfortunate situation right there, 25-20. The Trojans now climbing towards it, and well, they will lose their lives. 3 points off of switching the lead, but AC is going to be hanging out towards rocks, and all these players are going to be rotating on top of him. Finds one player who drops down. Now you look towards the middle, and AC's just moving. He is grooving around the map, and he's just getting aggressive now. Even gets the kill off rotation, and now needs to get these players out of the back line so that they can get spawns for this P3.
They do just that. The squad spawns come in, and they have P3 spawns locked down. Now Trojan Esports players aware of it. Gonna get the last bit of scrap time, but have work to do to get across the map. Shawnee State, in the hard points that we've seen, played just a bit more aware than Trojan Esports. They know where they need to be around the map, but the gunfights, not only going the way of Trojan Esports, but going the way of Shawnee, who picking up where he left off after that dominant control. They get clearance not only on the side of the map, but in the front of the hill, and they're holding it. So it's going to be a hike for Shawnee State and a little bit of work to do to get back to the site. They're looking to extend their lead now as they just got it. Trojan Esports, they're in control for the time being.
Yeah, they do get 1 point over to switch the lead, but you look at that three-man push that came in from the back. That was beautiful, because now they have the spawns. They flipped out the Trojans. They're spawning towards the next hill, though, but overall, you do get the majority of this hill if you watch Shawnee State. You need to send somebody through to go for that spawn, and that's going to be none other than AC. And AC stealthily makes his way. Look at that. That is beautiful. Gets through to the back line unscathed. No players are going to detect him, but number 7 is going to see him. And that's Quesadilla. Unfortunately, AC was just way out in the open too much. So the infiltration was for naught. So now Primus is going to have to work here uphill and try to get this going.
AC comes right back off spawn, though, and starts finding kills to open up that land bridge lane for White Chicken to come through. Hops onto the hill and pops another. Now spawns are going to flip out. Shawnee State in control of the hill for Trojan Esports. They have to find a way to get back into this one. They can't keep letting Shawnee State get substantial amounts of time. But given that there's 30 seconds left, they don't want to accidentally flip out and really just gift Shawnee State P5 positioning. They do get back on this hill, and there it is. The spawn flip comes in. So for Trojan Esports, they're just playing a half step behind the Shawnee State squad. Now AC securing P5 rotation for the team. Crazy Catherine also fighting for the last 10 seconds of scrap time as well. So Trojan Esports, got to see a bit more map pressure and awareness from them. They're almost playing with their heads down.
Exactly. I couldn't put it better right there. They're just not really doing what needs to be done. The rotations are being given for the side of Shawnee State. And you see right now they have a setup here, and really they're focusing map control over the time on the hill, and Primus comes in through, able to hold the top gun position. Quesadilla's going to try and move in, and, well, AC's still going strong on the side, and, oh, you lose your life like that from the top down. You lose spawns as well, but the side of Shawnee State, they're not focusing too much on the hill. They're more or less focusing on the control of the map, because that's what's going to give them the best timing. Primus is going to come in here to contest, do some preemptive shots, but there's 2 players on the site. A little bit too much to chew on for him, and now you have to get ready for this next set of rotations.
This will be a tied game going into P1 as Shawnee State look to give up the rest of the time and, like you said, fight for map positioning and rotation. Well, that's going to be 3 down, so I'd like to think the first 10 or so seconds of P1 go cleanly the way of Shawnee State, but right off spawn, Trojan Esports are trying to fly at this hill. But look at where these players are zoned off. These players in their spawn, just one player soaking time. A lane does open up over at the ring stairs side, players start falling there. But Crazy Catherine in this power position on the boat can be so effective. A big 1v1 on the site. Quesadilla wins it.
Yep, and there you go, a big fight here from Primus. Gonna be able to lose that one, but AC comes in for the clutch. You're gonna lose it to Brewiggs, though, who's finally waking up a bit here. 121 to 116 and climbing. The Trojans will be able to get towards that point of reaching the lead, and they do with Brewiggs' kill. There you go, Shawnee's gonna be able to find one as well. You change the lead, but you need to get ready for this P2. P2 being a big discussion point, but you lose the scrap there to the side of Shawnee State. So White Chicken's going to be able to stop that player Goblin from getting the top position because, hey, at this point with P2, if you can hold top position, you have a great access to all lanes. So Shawnee's going to play towards the bottom, but unfortunately it is going to get spotted, compromise the position, and everybody from the side of Shawnee State have visualized and attacked and now have a great hold across the map.
Premise with the ability in green to really just cause mayhem over on this side for Trojan Esports players, soaking up the time. AC can do no wrong at the moment, winning just about every gunfight that comes his way is going to fall from the front side of the hill, and that'll get Trojan Esports in. For the time being, they're keeping themselves within striking distance. It's just a 20-point deficit, and they're coming up big when they need to. The Trojan Esports squad have really found life since coming off of that control, and it's Shawnee State who are constantly chalking it up for the rotation. They say, we'll take a 5-point lead differential to give ourselves P3. So Quesadilla reads it. They're starting to make the plays in and around the site.
Exactly, and right there you do see Shawnee State lose a bit of time there. They will be able to get throw 156 to 156, a true neutral right now. They do have a good position forward to getting on the hill, but they do not have spawns. The spawns are going to be back towards P1, so this is not good for the side of the Bears. The Trojans, though, they are much closer. So they will be able to hop on the hill. They stop the aggression, and this is going to be bad because if they grab this 40, that's going to put them at a 203 to 156. So Primus is going to really need to try his hardest here to get this player out from the back line, to get the positioning to get forward, but he will not be getting there forward, and he will lose his life. But White Chicken comes in to clean up. Quesadilla is going to stop that push, and now you have a tougher situation because the Bears now have lost that aggression. They're going to need to just hold this new, and, well, you have Brewiggs now who's going to try that infiltration that AC tried that last time.
40 seconds for Trojans gives them a 40-second lead. As you had said, they're going to cross that 200-point mark, and it's up for Shawnee State to try and respond big here. In the mid-map, they had control to start, but Trojan Esports have turned it up to 10 in this mid to late game. One person soaking up hill time, but that's causing these players to spawn out. It's going to be a 4v1 collapse on the site. White Chicken is in trouble indeed. It is a foot race to the hill. Back spawns are going to be secured for the Trojan squad.
Exactly, and you're going to see right there, big kills from Crispy and Shoddy. Now, you lost Primus there for a second. He was able to get the kill, but he now has to step back because he notices all players are going to be pushing through. You need every player to come in big here, and Shoddy's going to lose his life because the last man left there. Not going to be able to get onto the site just yet. He immediately loses his life, and AC goes for the reach out, and nobody's going to challenge just yet. You need to hold the rest of this time. You got to get your team at a comfortable position to get themselves ready, but they die. So 186 to 201. Now Trojans are going to be able to get up higher in terms of the points, and the rotation is already in effect, but it's the Shawnee State Bears who have it.
Shawnee State had a really tough time holding on to this the last go around. Trojans got a majority of this time, and just players playing so sporadically is definitely going to cause for some hecticness on the site. To go down, Catherine invests the streak so that they can start to get this time. They really would like to take the lead here and force the Trojan Esports players' hands, rotating back over to P1, but the madness, it's going to ensue, and Trojans are here.
Indeed so, the Trojans have arrived, and they are going to contest the hill. This is a big play coming in from them. Primus is going to have to stay up here and try and contest. He's getting shot from every angle possible, and he throws every utility to try and get an advantage, but Quesadilla is going to hang out towards the top railing. Now Crazy has to try and get the kills here, but overall, you need the rotation for P1, but Brewiggs is already on it. He's aggressive. He's in the position to get the team to the win. 194 to 230. 233. Shawnee State have yet to even break that 200-point threshold, which they now will be able to as they have broken Bruick and gotten through to the site now. So it's going to come down to this site for both sides.
Pinch play coming in from Shawnee. Do they read it? I don't know if they're going to get their heads turned in time. White Chicken does. They hold on for the time being. This is where we see so many teams start to collapse, and all you need is one good break, but you start to get desperate and throw lives at it. 2 go down. Make that, whoa, what I thought was going to be 3, but Quesadilla goes massive. Tries to get the 3rd there, but wow. Way to give the team some life and an ability to get up on this site once again. Now a 10-point game. White Chicken trying to make things happen on the staircase, but Shawnee once again finds 2. This is huge. Trojans can close it out here.
Indeed so, and AC's going to play towards the ring. Finds 2, but oh no, he stopped shooting at Shawnee. And there you go, the Trojans. They take us to a map 5. What a difference it has made so far. 223 to 250. We did not expect this at all, Cash.
I did not expect this from Trojan Esports, and good for them to, again, it's tournament time. I can't say anything else. It is playoff time. Teams have come to play. You can't discount anyone. Shawnee State had a 2-0 lead and should very much be the more comfortable team in the series. They are throwing the last couple of maps where they should have been able to handle it given their on-paper records. Trojan Esports are showing why it's so hard to predict come playoff time. They're in that dark horse form. They really want to try to make waves here in the LCQ. And they're doing just that. As the series goes on, they're starting to change my mind. Now, the Search and Destroy was 6-3. It is going to be on Bakaj, our first time seeing Bakaj tonight. But that definitely will give us a different look there. Trojan Esports, I mean, I guess now, you know, not that my opinion has done much for the series, but I'd say the tide's starting to shift their way, man. You take 2 respawns like that, I mean, you can't help but start to kind of root for them.
Exactly. The Trojans have really put our money where our mouth is. But, hey, overall, Shawnee State have lost these last 2 maps in a row. A possibility of a reverse sweep is amongst us. Overall, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to a short break as we get ready for this map 5. Do not go anywhere because this series is ramping up to be the most exciting match that we have for tonight. So we'll see you in just a bit. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are here. We're at the map 5 in what should have been a closer, more dominant series. An upset, possibly. Who's to say? That's up to you at home. But it's the Trojans from Trojan Esports from Dakota State University up against the Shawnee State Bears from Shawnee State University. Currently out of 2-2. The Trojans have taken the last 2 maps in a row and have stolen these maps from the side of the Bears. Cash, how you feeling? This is we're getting on thin ice right now.
Yeah, Shawnee State, they're on real thin ice. I haven't seen anything too impressive from them. They opened the series up really well and looked really good. Have since slowed down. I don't know if they kind of took their foot off the gas and were like, oh, we got this, no problem, and now have lost 2 maps. But Trojan Esports, this is why even when you think you're down and out, you never give up, let alone in playoff time. They now have the opportunity to, like you said, pull off the upset at LCQ, send Shawnee State packing, and advance in the last chance qualifiers. They just need 1 more map. It's oh so important to focus up here and really dial in and try to get the job done. Shawnee State, I mean, the balls have been in your court to respond for not only a couple of maps, but several rounds of play now. They've got a lot to prove here in the Search and Destroy if they want to take it.
They really do. The last time we were in a Search and Destroy was in Berlin, and that went a 6-3 on the side of Shawnee State. And it was a very dominant one. It got a little bit mixy, but the Bears were able to come back and take it overall. Right now, we are in a position where the Trojans have not stopped. They have been going relentlessly at the Bears. They have not given them any sort of breathing, any sort of moments to recollect and regain. You know, last time we took a break, the Trojans came back 2 maps. So now that we're at another break, either they're going to be red hot and taking over, or the Bears took this chance to recollect and regain.
Yeah, it really could go either way. Shawnee State, they've looked just slow and sloppy, I guess is the best way I can put it for their gameplay, where they had control of the pacing and were playing quick in their tempo the first couple of maps. We have not seen that as of the last two respawns. Now you're going to find yourselves in a search and destroy where every move matters, every bit of positioning on the map you can get matters, and Trojan State have a bit more wind in their sail than we said after the control. Now more than ever, you've just got to play composed. Of course, if you're Dakota State University, you also can't let how hyped you are also ruin the moment. You've got to stay composed as well. It's just as important.
Exactly. And you're going to see right now both teams are going to be moving forwardly in an aggressive position here. Quesadilla is going to try and look towards the black car to try and find his player, but Crazy is going to be able to get away in time for that movement penalty to come and hit Quesadilla. So that information will not be given that there's a player hanging out towards the back of the gate. So now all players will need to try and get themselves towards any bomb site. And it looks as though A might be our destination because B, 8 times out of 10 is usually not the favored choice to go for.
It isn't, but we have about 45 seconds off the clock, and no one has really fired their gun yet. It's just been slow play trying to find a pick if anyone's getting over aggressive. Shawnee State knows that they're on offense, and they've got to come to us. Shoddy with the sniper on Bakaj, not something you see all that often, but we'll still see it on occasion from players. Catherine opens up with the first blood and gets out their life. White Chicken, though, in through the back. This could be huge.
Indeed so. And Goblin's going to get some shots on the AC, but will get away with his life. And Primus even capitalizes on that opportunity. Brug's going to be the last man, gets taken out. And, well, the Bears win the first round. Great statement for them to make here after losing the last 2 maps in a row.
Finally showing they can kind of slow some momentum from the side of Trojan Esports. They went defense, which more so than Berlin, you see teams take defense here. Offense is a little bit harder to come by, especially with that bomb site change that came in a while ago. Shawnee stayed on offense, going to see if they can work this. Where they found advantage in the search and destroy on Berlin was they were able to get out to a substantial round lead. Sure, Trojan Esports tried to make a comeback, but it was just too little too late when things were said and done. Shawnee State were looking to replicate that same thing here on Bakaj.
So, and well, there's going to be some shots there. Crazy's going to get away, but whoa, White Chicken gets the shots onto Goblin. That wins that one, makes it a 3-3 right now. We've got a minute left here in the overall timer. So White Chicken's going to be playing towards Zig. Nobody from the side of the Trojans have noticed that their game besieged, but Brug's able to kill Catherine. White Chicken's going to go in, goes in towards Tools, and looks at the wrong angle and loses his life. Quesadilla wins that one. It's a 3-1 now. Primus is in a dangerous position, and the bomb is not in his hands. And he will lose his life there. The Trojans now respond back.
They stay cool, calm, and collected on defense and answer back. Shoddy just hanging out in the back, waiting for these players to have to make a play over on this ace site. Just a very dominant power position to be in. Back on offense we go. Who can crack the code first? We'll have to find out. We are 1-1 here in our game 5. No one except for Quesadilla on any kind of streak work with anything. I know it's only 2, but that can quickly add up if you start to get things rolling here, and streaks can be very useful on Bakaj for information alone. Quesadilla 11 to play this tight barn corner here, trying to play for information in mid.
You're going to see some big plays there from AC, and he does get the kill onto Goblin. Now it's a 3v4. The Trojans are down. We've got a minute and 5 overall. AC hanging out towards the top of Nanny's now. Not going to find anyone towards the backside of the Zig. So, White Chicken here is playing towards the back, but he will lose his life looking out to the river, not reflecting on his surroundings, but on himself. And Primus even gets a kill on the Zig. Now you've got a 2-2 as Bruggs picks up 1 for himself. And Primus has been found. The position has been compromised, and all players need to work towards securing these bomb sites because the bomb is down.
And there's no reason for Shawnee State to do anything too crazy here. You have to make Trojans make a play, but now that your other teammate falls, AC has to go big here in the back and find these players. You know the bomb's going to work over this ace site. AC gets eyes on him, and Will is going to start to make a move over here to get this kill. Finds one and now dips. Now, if you're Bruggs, you have to find this kill or get the bomb down with 10 seconds left. AC is going to run, but Bruggs is going to play hide and seek. is down for the hunt, finds the player in AC, and gets around. That was looking a little dire there once AC found that kill.
That was absolutely insane. You saw that it really needed to just come down to playing hide and seek there. And what is the possibility that both of them run through barn at the exact same time when there was less than 10 seconds? Crazy situation, I know. But overall, the Trojans are still going hot. They've gotten 2 rounds in a row. Shawnee State Bears will need to do something big here to try and take some rounds in their favor.
The difference thus far has been Brugge. Brugge had a really slow search and destroy on Berlin, is now at 5-1, a better performance through 3 rounds than all of the S&D prior. So that's the player that we need to see step up. Has in the respawns, is now doing it in the game 5. This is where championship teams are made, and teams that make deep runs into playoffs are ones who can take adversity and keep going.
So, and Crazy is able to get the kill on to Quesadilla. Now it's a 2 to 3, 50 seconds left. Primus is going to be watching over the bomb, but you also have none other than Shoddy watching that back line. Brugge is going to be flanking here, and does see Primus, goes for the shots across the angles, gets it, knows White Chicken's going to be able to find him, but will not give the kill just yet. Gets him off angle, and he even wins that. That's insane. Crazy Catherine, the last player alive here, 28 seconds. One player could hop the bomb, and Crazy Catherine only has 2 HP, and his position has been compromised. This is going to be an interesting one because right now, Crazy does see that Shoddy is on the bomb and notices that he's going to rush in but loses his life. So Shoddy has plenty of time to defuse.
Trojan Esports are up 3-1 in a game 5. Brugge is on 7 with full streaks. We talked about how important that could be if players are able to get those. You do just that. The glide bomb can be so critical, not only to find kills, but to find information. This Trojan squad, they've turned it up to 10-man. They're firing on all cylinders and getting the job done at the moment. Still a lot of S&D left, but being up 3-1 is definitely where they want to be sitting.
Indeed so. This is a great position for the side of the Trojans to make this reverse sweep and get it going, especially with Brugge with a glide bomb in his back pocket. Still on that 7 streak, and well, they're going to be making a bit of a play here towards B. But it always comes down to this standstill here in the middle. Goblin's going to get shot from the back by White Chicken. Does not see AC hanging out towards the bottom of the breakable wall there. And it's a 3v4 now as the Trojans are down.
Trojan Esports have clutched up being down in life situations before. Brugge still on 7 and hunting for more kills, is going to get on 8 and start to dip dodge around river and take a route through tunnel. Shawnee State are in shambles, trying to figure out where Brugge is and get the kills. Now a 2v2 situation. Trojan Esports showing infinite amounts of resilience.
Infinitely so. And, well, it's a 2-2 right now. Brugge's on an 8 streak. Does have that glide bomb that he could use to find some information here, but it's much smarter to hold it for a much more crucial moment instead of a 2v2. And he's going to go up, and unfortunately, though, White Chicken's going to find him off on the mantle, ends his streak. Shoddy's the last player left here, 23 seconds. The bomb is not in any player's hands, and, well, you do see where Catherine runs to, but unfortunately, White Chicken's going to run out, and there you go, that's a 1v1, but unfortunately, he's not going to win that one onto Catherine. Shawnee State respond back now, and that 3-round slatage, make it a 3-2.
It's a good thing they played together because Shawnee has shown that he can win 1v1s as they're given to him, just not ready for that quick gunfight to follow. Like you said, Shawnee State, they respond big. A much needed round, even though it was only 3-1, it felt like Trojans were starting to run away with it a little bit. They responded and keep themselves within striking distance. They're up 3-2, and Gusher is yet to find a kill. So you've got to think that if Gusher can find some momentum in this S&D, that could blow this game wide open here. Crazy Catherine, though, leading the way for the squad.
If you do see her there, Goblin's able to get the kill onto AC. It's a 4-3 now, but White Chick is able to stop Goblin from getting any sort of 2 pieces. So now it's a 3-3, a minute and 5 left. You have the bomb still. You can definitely make a beeline towards this A bomb and grab it. You do know that Shoddy is in the back line, and They're going to look and, well, nobody's going to be able to tag him just yet. White Chicken is able to kill Brewix. You get that Slayer out, but Shawnee's able to find Primus, gets that kill, makes it an even 2-2, and Crazy just needs to stay alive here. Wait for his teammate to get him the advantageous call and go for it, because no players are going to be on the bomb hopping it. And White Chicken, unfortunately, will not see the player that climbed up behind them. Now Crazy's by himself, nowhere near a position to help out. And there you go. The Trojans make it to a 4-2 as we enter the dagger round.
Chicken got the pre-aim on his teammate and then didn't see the player hopping up right behind. So wonderful chase play coming in from the Trojan players. This has been just a world's different series since we hit the control. Quesadilla at 4-4, doing their job around the map as well. Like you said, the dagger round coming up. Do we go 4-3? Do we go 5-2 match point? Trojan Esports. We will find out. Shawnee State on defense. Trojan Esports on offense. Gonna look to take this one and set themselves up to close this series out. Behind players like Shawnee and Bruggs, Trojan Esports can do very little wrong.
Indeed so, and you're going to look towards the back line there. AC gets caught out by Shawnee. No kills going to be given, and Goblin's going to lose his life to Primus. Once again, that position towards the back line being a common position at this point. It needs to be accounted for. You cannot go through without accounting for it. And, well, White Chicken's going to be able to kill Brewix. That gets their Slayer out of the way. And now you leave Quesadilla and Shawnee by themselves in a 2-4. But it looks as though Shawnee's able to find AC, and there comes the kill from Crazy. What looked like was going to be a kill for Quesadilla is not. Now we're in a 1-3, and White Chicken even kills Shawnee, and there you go. Shawnee State win the dagger round.
Still finding themselves down one round, but playing slower, playing how they need to, working the picks that they need around the map to give themselves the defensive advantage. No one able to capitalize too tremendously on offense here on Bacage. But Shawnee State, if they want to keep Trojans from match point, they definitely need to take this offense here. And to draw this one up 4-4 after being down 3-1 would be huge for their momentum.
Exactly, and right now we're going to see the nades coming out from AC. Not going to be able to tag anybody just yet, and there comes a little trade. Crazy able to kill Brewix, and Shawnee kills Primus. There you go. You lose your Slayer again on the side of the Trojans. Shawnee State are going to go for a B plant. Rarely seen here at all, so you will be able to play off of it for a second. And, well, Crispy's going to try and stay alive, but he gets taken out by White Chicken, but he's still able to get that kill. It's a 2-2. Goblin's moving in. He's going to get shot from the back. You do not want to go down to the man count here, but Crazy wins that one. And now Shawnee has the angle, looks to see where this player is going to be coming from, and there's only 25 seconds left. This is the 1v1 to really secure yourself towards that momentum victory.
Does Shawnee have the snap? Shawnee does.
Shawnee snapping.
Gets the kill in the 1v1. Gets the defuse on the bomb to put themselves at match point. All you have to do is win one more round. Reverse sweep is complete. Your last chance qualifier. Hope stay alive, and you send Shawnee State packing in one of the earlier upsets in this tournament. But you still got one round to do. You've got to close it out.
You've gotta. This is the chance, the opportunity to just absolutely get one of the biggest upsets we've seen here in the CCL right now. It's 5-3. Shawnee State are down, and the Trojans are up. This is the last round they're going to need, so we're going to have to see a big play here from the side of the Trojans to just end it. But Shawnee State players are not getting overzealous here. They're sitting back, waiting for these players on the side of the Trojans to try and get that bomb plant.
Shawnee State, coverage at the B site and coverage at the A, slowing things down, locking down the lanes that they need. Premise finds another first blood, but it's Quesadilla in the mid-map who can respond. A 3v3 situation, Trojans still need to try to find a way to get the bomb down around halfway through at this point. No site control from either side, but as Quesadilla runs out, AC checks gate, a 2v3 situation. Shawnee State have the advantage here on defense right now.
And Brewix still has that glide bomb. They have yet to kill him in this situation yet. So you will see Primus get a bit of some shots, but Brewix comes in from the back. This is massive. 25 seconds left, and, well, Crazy's going to stop that one. Now it's a 1v2. They grab the bomb. or they're having a trouble grabbing the bomb. I guess Goblin's just going to go for this B because they have yet to realize that, hey, this player is not playing towards A. So the B plant is going to come in now, and it's just up to Goblin, who's 1-8, the underperforming player, but he's going to get taken down. So Shawnee State, stay alive and make it a 5-4.
Clawing back round by round are the Bears. Crazy Catherine makes the read that, hey, I'm not thinking anything's going down today. We're gonna go have a look at B. They do that. Now they need to win 2 more rounds consecutively to win this game 5 and to shut down a Trojans Esports reverse sweep. Is it too tall of a task? Did they give Trojan Esports a little too much slack to work with? We're gonna have to find out as they now take their offensive hit, and all 4 players stacked up a barn. Crazy Catherine opens up with the first blood. A little bit of a tempo switch up off this opening break.
Indeed so, and the Trojans are down to the count. Bruick still has that glide bomb, and there you go. Goblin's going to lose his life as well, so Crazy & Co. might have to take this to the round 11 here as they do get the bomb plant down. So now you have both of these players on the side of the Trojans that what seemed like was going to be an easy victory for them is not guaranteed whatsoever. Primus has Bruigs in his sights and catches him on the nade and still gets him with it. So there's only 30 seconds here, and we are getting closer and closer to that round 11.
Shawnee with 1, but no one moving for Shawnee State. They are not budging and biting on the bait. They know that Shawnee's got to make the impossible play happen. I don't think that's going to be the case. And we're going to see ourselves in a Game 5, Round 11, first night of playoffs. How exciting is that, Susano?
This is the absolute most insane thing that we have ever seen. When I had that Eye of Agamotto cash and I was looking through the timelines, I was not expecting this one to be the one. I thought we were going to see a 3-0, but no, we get the round 11 now. The Trojans are getting some pushback from the side of the Shawnee State Bears.
For Trojans, man, you had a 3-1 lead at one point. You want to pull off the reverse sweep. You hate seeing a team chip away bit by bit at the lead. But right now, Trojan Esports, they left the bomb, so it's going to be a slower opening break as they have to go back and collect that. But this first blood is really going to be oh so critical. Shoddy spots Premise over at Tank, trying to rip his head off. Can't do that, but Bruggs having the streaks is going to open this one up. That is huge momentum for the side of Trojans, now up 4v3 in lives.
Exactly so, and that's what we were expecting. I thought it was going to come out in an earlier round, but hey, I mean, if there's a time to use it, better late than never in the round 11. Now all 4 players from the side of the Trojans are hanging out within a unilateral line. They're keeping themselves stuck to their guns and do not want to give up any sort of movement. B-bomb is going to be our position right now. You have Goblin moving up forward here, getting a bit more aggressive, waiting for these players to rotate, and well, Crazy & Co., they're going to take the Granny's position, but AC kills Bruigs. That gets their Slayer out. You still have Shoddy, though. Goblin, who's having a very tough game, 1-10. This is the time to step up, but Shoddy picks up the kill.
Oh, man, and Quesadilla gets the timing on AC. Oh. I thought AC had the snap, but didn't. Now,
oh no!
1v1 situation. Round 11, White Chickens finds 2. Trying to find the third player tucked in this right corner and needing the defuse. I don't know if he's going to find it.
The Trojans take it.
In a 1v1, round 11, reverse sweep pulled off for Trojan Esports. I don't know that you could have painted a more perfect finish. And look at this angle from Gusher. We talked about him, the whole map sitting at 0 and whatever for most of it, 1-8 until that round 11. And finds the kill that seals the deal. I mean, you can't write storylines like this, Susanna. You just can't.
Oh, what are we living in? This is absolutely insane. They came out here swinging. They were losing it. Dude, like you said, they were getting chipped out from the base, much like a very strong Redwood. They were starting to lose it. They were getting hit from the sides. There was no recollection of coming back. It looked like the Bears were going to take it, and you leave it to the one player who's having the worst game. Hey, in that moment, you are the hero. You are the man because you were not expected at all to turn up. Instead, you play the angle. You know where that player's coming from. and you get him off angle. 2-10. Hey, that's okay in my book if we got that round 11 reverse sweep.
No one's looking at the stat line,
Oh, yeah.
but everyone
Oh, yeah.
will remember how Guster clutched up there, that slight off angle, sitting below tower. Just again, how poetic does that feel for Trojan Esports to pull off the reverse sweep against Shawnee State and send them packing? Trojan Esports keep their last chance qualifier hopes alive.
Yeah, and well, it was a crazy series. Let's talk about the roadmap that we had tonight because it was absolutely insane. We started off in Berlin. It was 250 to 172. And that was for Shawnee State. Then Shawnee State won the Berlin afterwards in Search and Destroy 6-3. Then the momentum shifted. Something changed in the air. Something happened.
Did.
So, Coach Mick or something was back there giving these boys the play calls. And then we went to Tuscan, and the Trojans came back 3-1. Then the Gavatu hardpoint was won by a pinch here, 250 to 223. Then we came to Bocage, and we ended off in a round 11 6-5 victory for the Trojans, completing the reverse sweep. It was an absolute pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, casting for you all tonight. We're going to have Seymour and Cruzens hop on for the third game. We're still trying to decide who that is going to be at the moment, but when they get on, they'll know 100%. But it's been an absolute pleasure, Cash, being here with you. We will see you all pretty soon, but don't go anywhere because our third matchup for the night is coming up pretty soon.